Hello, Namaste everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Anmoll, and today I will be talking about the planet Mercury. So, another video in the series of what Vedic astrology is about and how can you learn as a beginner about planets or zodiac signs. Now, today we'll be learning about planet Mercury. So before we start, if you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get regular updates. If you would like to have your personal readings from me, you can check out the link in the description box below, www.anmollastrology.com. Under the readings and unique reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. I've added on a few new readings under the reading section, which are for the retrogression of planets, understanding your karma with that, and also for the yearly and dasha analysis. All right. If you want to sign up for one of my courses, you can check the courses section under the same link, but under the courses section. So currently I am going through the complete predictive course, which will be uploaded soon. As soon as it gets finished, it will be uploaded online as an online course. All right, so let's get started with this video of Mercury. First thing that I would like to say about Mercury is that from this day, when you're watching this video, start preaching Lord Mercury, Lord Buddha, because this planet holds way so much importance than what you can think of. You're scared of Saturn, you're scared of Rahu Ketu, you want to have Venus, you want to have Jupiter. But trust me or not, this is one of the most important planet that you should have and you would want to have after you learn about Mercury in this video. So Mercury, whenever we hear about Mercury, something comes into our mind, which is what? Communication, multimedia, anything which is related to one person speaking and the other person responding. All right. So it's basically the planet, the karka of communication. But Mercury is your intelligence. It's your nervous system. It's your mind. It's not the mind associated with moon, but it's the logical mind within you. It's the ability for you to take the significant decisions of life. Mercury is definitely communications. Mercury is your skills. Mercury is your belief system, your opinions. What do you think? Your thinking process. How decisive you are. Either you are indecisive or you are decisive. Mercury is multimedia. It is the media line, journalism, communications. But psychologically, Mercury is the most important planet. Because Mercury will hold the strength of how you take your decisions. What kind of person you are. Do you hold a good character or do you not hold a good character? If you ever want to see, if you are getting associated with someone and you want to see what kind of a person that individual is, see their Mercury. Because their Mercury is going to tell you that. So mythologically, Mercury is the Prince Charming, who wants to be in the favorite books of everyone, who wants to be the favorite of everyone, who is adaptable and who adapts itself or himself or herself as per their surroundings, as per whatever seems suitable to them. So Mercury is the individual who can become an old person with an older one, can become a younger person with the younger ones, can become a child with children as well. So it's like a multitasking planet. It's the planet which tells you the ability, which shows whether or not you have the ability to multitask or become a person who is adaptable of their situations. And also Mercury, if suppose your Mercury is heavily afflicted, you will be so rigid with your opinions, you will be so opinionated, and you will be so, connected to your habits, your patterns, that you would refuse to adjust with anyone else. On the other hand, if your Mercury is well placed or is suppose with certain planets, it will allow you to understand the perspective in a more open way. It will allow you to adapt or be flexible. But on the other hand, Mercury is also the planet that gets easily influenced. So if your Mercury, for example, is in the air zodiac signs, it can easily get influenced by the others. So Mercury does not have a streamline effect. It has multiple effects. Mercury is your intelligence to earn money. Money is Venus and Jupiter. Luxury is Venus. How to multiply that luxury, how to multiply your income, how to invest your money, how to, expand your money. That is the idea that comes to you from Mercury. Now, Mercury is the ideas, it's your opinions, it's the thoughts that cross your mind. Now, Mercury rules the natural third house and the sixth house. So we always say that third house is the house of one's courage, one's valor. And we always say that Mars is the planet which connects with a person's valor and courage. But it's also Mercury, because naturally Mercury is the one who rules the third house with Gemini. So Mercury is one of the planets to show that when such a situation comes to you, when such a circumstance arises where you require to either come at the front and fight for what is yours and to to have that courage to fight against it, or you are the one who is going to sit at back or just ghost that situation and not being able to fight it. Or maybe you are a very, very smart and intelligent individual who would know how to get things in their favor, although things were going really bad. So that's the ability that we see from Mercury, because it rules the third house. Mercury is your communication. Mercury is what kind of things do you love to talk about, or indeed, it is going to show you that what is your karma with communication. In this life, why you are here? Are you here to bring in balance into the relationships of everyone? Are you one of the negotiators with Mercury in Libra? Or are you a person to do deep research and come out with investment options? Mercury in Scorpio. Or are you the person who's going to talk about philosophy, or is going to talk about higher understanding, wisdom, or be the person to advise and counsel others? Mercury in Sagittarius. So what kind of communication you are here to present in front of others in your life? What is the importance of communication? That is your Mercury. Now, what kind of skills do you have? Are you a person who's going to go into a job scenario, or who is going to be independent, or who is going to have multi sources of income? Multiple sources of income. That's what Mercury decides. All right. So third house is also related to your siblings, and Mercury is your relationship with your siblings, and especially the female siblings. Mercury is your youthfulness. You'll always see whenever Mercury gets activated, you have a tendency to become more young, but become more healthier. Because Mercury, by ruling the third house, it also rules your fears. It governs your fears. Because of the reason Mercury is your thinking process, but sometimes this thinking can turn into overthinking. So Mercury's placement is going to show where you are overthinking about. What is that particular area that you are very concerned about? All right, and Mercury is one of the planets that can trigger your anxiety, your thinking process, your overthinking. All right, Mercury is what kind of thoughts do you have? What kind of skills do you possess, especially the skills that you do with your hands? What kind of knowledge attracts you? Is that a financial knowledge? Is that knowledge related to maybe cooking? Is that knowledge related to astrology? Is that knowledge related to numerology? What kind of knowledge attracts your attention? That is Mercury. Now, Mercury also rules the 6th house. That's the reason in Mercury's activation, a person tends to become more careful of their nutrition, what they are eating. They become very specific with their health and nutrition. Because Mercury is very conscious, even if there is, a bit of a mass which is which contained fat and is being projected out there, maybe a little bit of tummy is out, this Mercury individual will become so cautious and so conscious of their looks that why my tummy is being appeared, even though other people might not care about it. All right, so Mercury is not just your own thoughts, but your thoughts related to what others think about you. Mercury with the 6th house governs your conflicts. So sometimes we say now that our communication and our tongue sometimes land us into conflicts. That is what Mercury is. Mercury is your debatable nature. Mercury is how you interact in a group setting, and especially suppose with your colleagues, with the people in your surroundings. Mercury is how you have a certain set of routine. How do you follow your routine? How do you do a repetitive work? Mercury is your calculations, it's mathematics, it's economics. With Jupiter's association, it's more economics, but otherwise Mercury is numbers. Mercury is crunching of numbers. Everything related to banks, numbers, investments, and then loans, debts, everything is Mercury. Your Mercury is going to show you how quickly you get a loan. All right, and how quickly you are concerned about getting a loan, or you are a person who avoids loans at all. Mercury is the planet that also governs the kind of food you eat, the nutrition that you intake within your body. Mercury is your exercising self also. Now, Mercury gets exalted in the 6th house and debilitated in the 12th house. The reason that Mercury is debilitated in the 12th house is that Mercury gets very, very uncomfortable with the energy of Pisces, because now Mercury has to lose its logic and use its intuition, use its imagination more. So Mercury in the 12th house or Mercury in Pisces is like a person who is in their own world, who is constantly thinking into their mind and is just projecting or assuming certain things. That is a debilitated Mercury, and that is Mercury in the 12th house. You become so overly cautious of every step you take, every person you have a communication with, when your Mercury gets debilitated or in the 12th house. Because now this Mercury, who's always up for negotiations, who's always up as a markets person, it's a salesperson, it's a marketing person, it's a person who wants to convince and who wants to get reassurance by themselves. That planet goes into your subconscious mind. That planet is going into the mind that is working 24/7, and especially during your sleep. So this Mercury's intense energy, this is, every exaltation and debilitation is going to be part of the traits of that planet. It's just whenever that planet gets debilitated, that debilitative side comes out. Otherwise, it's hidden. And when it gets exalted, it gains power to take out the positive side or the compatible side outside. All right, so that's the fact. So Mercury also has a side to it where it can completely lose its logic because it gets influenced very easily. It gets affected by the circumstances very easily. That's the negative side of Mercury. That's why most of the people, or many people nowadays, are struggling with depression. Actually, they must have done it previously as well, but there was not much knowledge about it. There was not much acceptance about it. So Mercury is, I always see that if there is an association of Mercury with a person's 7th house or 1st house or 7th lord or Dharakarka, you would know that this person is quite flexible with their relationships, but this Mercury should not be afflicted. So Mercury also gives you that tendency to bring in a change with the surroundings, and as a result, this is the planet which will actually first of all initiate the innovation. Later, Rahu adds on to that innovation materializing. But the initial idea, the initial thought, the initial opinion comes through Mercury. Mercury is exalted in the 6th house because there Mercury gets its logical self. It feels its logic is at its peak and it is able to project its logic out there. Mercury is a very, very, very critical planet. You would feel that Saturn is the judgment. Saturn is the ultimate judgment, and the nature of judging even the minute details, of digging deep and going into the details of something, that is Mercury. Mercury is criticizing. Mercury is judgy. Because Mercury is your observance. Whenever Mercury is connected to your 1st house, to your 12th house, right, to your 7th house as well, you'll be very judgy of other individuals. You'll be very picky of other individuals also. Unless it is in such a combination that it is just making you a very calm individual, that you're going with the flow. But otherwise, Mercury is the excellent observer. Mercury is the one who would observe things way more than what other person could collect as their observance in a moment. All right. So Mercury governs everything related to your nervous system, everything related to your mind, your actions, the signal that your mind, the logical mind, gives towards your nerves to perform an action. The action in itself is Mars, but the signal that you are receiving, that's Mercury. So Mercury, indeed, it's a very, very important planet to have, because, my mother used to say one thing always, ever since I was a small kid, that, it's what she said in Hindi, that if you have the right thinking, then you are the most successful person in this world. But if your thinking is not right, then even though success is at your doorstep, you will not be able to get or reach to that success or let it invite inside your house. So she made me understand that how important it is to have a flexible thinking, but at the same time becoming very firm with what I have analyzed over a period of time, what I have learned over a period of time as a part of my wisdom, that this is the stand I must take in my life. Only be firm for that. But otherwise, be open to opportunities. Be open to have positivity and optimism within your mind and within your thoughts. And I think that's the only thing I remember till now, from out of whatever she has told me always, because this is something I did apply on my life, and I still believe that, and I tell others as well. The best, the more good your Mercury is, the better your life will be. All right. So that's what I had for Mercury. I hope this helps and gives you good insights into this topic. Now we'll see you with the next video. Bye-bye. Take care.